And welcome back on Earth. As you can see, our drone is slowly but surely digging up all the terrain, making sure we have enough resources. And while it's continuing to work, I will from time to time check back and monitor if everything is working alright with batteries and charging capacity and so on. I did reduce the maximum load a little bit just to be on the safe side so that we have enough battery capacity to get back when it's a farther away drill hole. And yeah, while this is working, we will continue building out our base. And from last time I did a bit of cleanup or refinement of what we did. So the hallway now has this kind of structure at the top, which is the angled interior walls, B, with those steel parts looking out of it, which fits perfectly with a scaffolding block. So I combined that together with the LCDs, and the only thing is it's not the drone bay that is on this side, but storage. The drone bay will come after that, so let's modify the text. Yeah, the drone is recharging now. Yeah, last time we also finished the medical or med bay. There's still a second floor missing, but that will come later when we set up a second floor. For now we just keep it open. And yeah, I also did add a little bit of more blocks over here. So first of all, we have an event controller, because that I thought could be useful to toggle some exterior light on and off depending on the daytime or daylight, which we will achieve later on through dedicated solar panels that we just use for the measurement, but that's for the future, not that important. And a programming block from the automaton ADLC to run our sorting or our inventory management script later on, but we will get to that at the given time. And also another LCD block for that, which I know we will need more of. So let's get that set up as well. Just the inset LCD panel block and this upper part here. I don't think I like the look of that, so we will just keep it out for now. And then between episodes I did a little bit of exterior design, just to see where we could go in terms of well, the outer wall of the building. And I ended up with this kind of split here. We have the beam half blocks, and behind that it's one of the interior walls with railing, inside wall. Then a little bit of our green in the middle to cover that up, and the middle parts will then be windows, and in this case here with the machinery area, the speed modules of the assembler, and a bit of pipe works to finish that up at the top. And to match with those pipes, I did add pipe blocks on those sides, but I think, now that I look at it, it might be worth to let's see, to turn those around 90 degrees. That might look better than what I had just now. If you place them like this. Does that look better? I think so. Yeah, so let's go with that for the other block as well. Maybe the other way around to switch it up a bit. And yeah, with that we have a design for our outer wall. I still need to refine the way how to do windows, especially when the gallery starts to get set up. But this time around, I wanted to focus on, oh, come on, get over here, on first of all our storage area, because the 2 containers that we have here are slowly filling up, and it's getting quite messy with the items being split between all kinds of inventories. Well, it's not that bad right now, as you can see, but I did sort it a little bit. And we also need a refinery in this space to be able to refine some of the manually collected materials. And yeah, for that, I will fill up my inventory with a couple of resources, specifically steel plates and interior plates, and then get started on designing something. So yeah, I will do that in fast forward, so see you when it's done. Alright, during the construction of the storage room, I've noticed that I need to also kind of top off and build up the walls of this garage, hangar, whatever you want to call it, because I need to know how to do how to get from one part of the wall to the next and how to connect the 2 rooms to each other, which I'm pretty happy with in this area here. So we have our exterior wall design from previously on the other side, just extended over here. Then a pretty good, in my opinion, move over to the other side, but maybe in here we will go with the slope kind of block. Yeah, I think that might look better in the end, so that we get a nice slope towards those, what is it called, rounded half-edge blocks. Then we have our half beam blocks, again those rounded edge blocks, and then we top it off with another set of those slopes, which in my opinion gives it a better finish. And then we can, from here on, maybe could even... because I would like to narrow the room down again from this side on, which we could do now with the proper blocks, like this. And then from here on we use those slopes to narrow it down even further. I'm out of steel plates, okay. Yeah, because then we can have our bigger storage facility here with, how many was it? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 large cargo containers. That should be enough, because we have, yeah, let's say we have 1 for ores, I don't know, maybe on this side next to the refinery. Then we have 3 for ingots. We have maybe even too many, now that I think about it. Yeah. Let's exchange those 2 for something completely different, which would be the large hydrogen tanks. for that we need steel plates and interior plates. So one on top, or one upside down. Which side do we want to face forwards? There's a bit more piping involved in that one, so let's use this. And then the other one on the other way around. Let's put the piping on, yeah, maybe this side instead. Okay, yeah, I like that more. Also, it complements the other side with the refinery, kind of. We just need to hook it up, this time underground again, because we don't have a lot of space overground here. So like here I did a connection from one side to the other with the piping work here at the bottom using conveyors. Do the same over here, and we top it off with a regular conveyor junction. So now it's all connected, and we just close it off again, like so. Okay, so we have refinery, we have a air vent here, access to storage we have on every of the containers, so I don't really care for a cargo terminal here. We might add one just for the looks of it at some place here or there, but maybe in this at this end of the wall where we have a bit of space left. But yeah, we have now 8 containers, large containers. That should be enough, because we don't need much for ore, because we have we will do the main processing on all the exterior sites. We might even use one of the containers as a combination between ingots and ores, but then we have 4 for ingots, 2 for components, maybe 3, and 1 for miscellaneous, like all the other stuff that is usually not available in that high quantities. So that should get us covered for a long time. And yeah, we have a very central way from getting to this room, and then we can go further ahead and get to the drone hub later on. And I need to close this off here as well to, well, split ourselves off from the gallery, because we don't want to see that machinery in the gallery. As you can see, I did also add a small hallway. Oh, yeah, of course I shouldn't cover that hallway here. Might actually yeah, that might be a good point to connect those later on, to get to a walkway of the gallery around here. Yeah, then we can build something on top of the med bay, and also need to close off the roof here, which we need to go 1 more block up to cover everything that is on top of this area. And then I did leave a lot of space in here, because first of all I closed this off with just glass windows, just to make sure it's sealed for airtightness. And we will probably just do a slope over here and then close that off as a flat wall and put some panels or something in there, and walkways will also be added so that we can walk around at the top and have maybe one ship inside here that is docked, something smaller, and then we have a bigger area for 1 or 2 rovers. We will see what makes sense. At least I'd like to at least rebuild this rover into one bigger exploration rover for the start, and a very small exploration vehicle. But yeah, and I tried to measure that, and I hope I didn't do it wrong. I really hope I didn't. For using the hangars submerged in the ground. So like this. Let's see, we place 1 hangar here. Closing door like that, which we can extend to the other side and have yeah, ideally the whole working space sealed off so that we can do construction work or design on those vehicles while there's a storm brewing outside, and we are not getting affected very much by it. It's also missing a lot of lighting, but for the beginning the top is just made of regular blocks, which we will then exchange for what's it even called? The floodlights and maybe some Toffa lights. I don't know. We will see. But yeah, this would work. And now the next step is to not only finish that start of the design, which requires more resources that I don't have at hand right now, but for, more importantly, get everything welded up that we have the storage facility here and the refinery running. Maybe even one of the tanks, we will see. But yeah, let's get started. And my usually main trick for that is, where do I have it? Here. Is to use a welder. And then, once it's welded up enough, turn it on and let it build for us. And when that is done, we can then attach it to another mounting point and continue from there, step by step. The only thing missing right now is resources, of course. So let's dump out everything we have. Produce a ton of steel plates and interior plates, we need that as well. What else is missing here? Computers, motors, large steel tube, and so on. There's a bunch of resources missing. But while this is working, we could start setting up our inventory management system, which will help us with the welding. And for that, I'm, for now, usually using a specific script. So let's go for Edit, Raw Scripts. And I'm using the, where is it? Goat Sorter, Inventory Sorter. Or the greatest of them all, Inventory Sorter. It's a very modern development, much more recent than Easy's and so on. And does a very great job at managing the whole base. So yeah, when it's starting, it will tell us we need to build a screen with exclamation mark status screen in the name. So let's use this one here. Once that is configured, it should pop up any moment with content for the tutorial. Yes. So, it looks like your grid doesn't have any cargo containers for ore specified. Please add ores to the name of a cargo container. We will do that swiftly, so let's use one of the two temporary ones we have here. I think this one already contains ores, so let's go with that. We just need to put it into the name here. Ores. Then it will ask probably for components. No, ingots first and then components. So let's go ahead and do both. We can either give those names to individual containers or we can give one container multiple names. So in this case I want to have ores and ingots in this one, and I want to have components and whatever else in this one. Components. So the next one is components, which we just did. And with the next update, we need to do the next step, which is please build a screen and include in brackets autocrafting in its name. So for that, we have this one next to our assembler setup here. So let me pre-write that in another text field, because I'm on a German keyboard with a German operating system. And since the Apex Survival update or core systems update, we are unable, any of us with that language set up, to use the brackets in the game. So as you can see, once I've added that, it will show me a list of components with how much I have in the system and /0 in most cases, because this is the amount of minimum that I want to keep through autocrafting. The script will manage a lot of the base. So it will manage assemblers with autocrafting. You can give it a name in brackets manual, which will then exclude it from the automatic crafting, and you can use it as you usually would. It will take care of your O2 H2 generators by managing on its own the insert and output of ice and putting in and pulling out bottles and so on. Same for refineries, it will manage those, and assemblers in terms of its resources, like ingots going in and ingots going out when the production is done. So all of that is being managed by that script. And it also makes sure to move all the items to the specific containers. So now in this one we have a mixture of items, but we don't have any ingots in that other one. I can show you what I mean. So if I move, for example, this data pad over here, that shouldn't make much of a difference, but moving scrap metal and stone into this other container, it should move those back every couple of seconds, as you can see now. So it will make sure that everything goes into the right containers that were configured. Now, next step is it wants us to set up some automations, and we will not just do construction components, but everything that we usually need. So from the start, this is basically just showing you what it found in the system, which is not a lot right now. I don't know why it's not showing the other components, but anyway, because we didn't produce any. So let's maybe go into production and do one of each of the most common ones. And after a while of updating, it starts to show those up in the system. So let's go with construction components. We usually want to have, let's say, 200 detector components, just one for now. Displays 10, girders also 10, power cells 1, radio components, solar cells. I just go with minimums at some of those values. And we're still missing some components here. Someone might have heard it in the background. They're instantly consumed by the welder. I forgot about that. Yeah, sorry, that was my fault. So, yeah, let's take the manual name out of it again. And again, let's get a bunch of items produced. I'm not sure if that is everything already, but now... Yeah, steel plates, we want to have, let's say, 500. Metal grids, 10 for now. Okay. Interior plates, I think we're also missing. Takes a moment for it to update. So, steel plate... Interior plate, now we have it here. So let's also take 500 and maybe one... Yeah, 500. Let's do 300 of those. Anything missing? Solar cells, radio components, small tubes. I think we have it all now. And with that, the tutorial screen switches to the overview of the goat sorter. And you can already see it has a bunch of other component or container types for sorting available. You can have what we already have: components, ingots, and ores, but you can also have tools, foods, miscellaneous, ammo, and ingredients. And you can also kind of configure your own. But yeah, with that we have a bunch of resources being auto-produced, and we can now turn on the welder again, and whenever it consumes all the items of a type, or some of them go below the configured amount, it will produce them on and on and on. So yeah, slowly building up that refinery. And now we're missing computers and large steel tubes. Okay, this is still working on those resources, and we ran out of iron. Oh, that's a good point to get some more collectors. So yeah, I will make sure that we have enough materials and continue from there. So see you in a bit. Alright, I've collected a little bit of resources, and our refinery started to work. Now that we have welded up those 2 containers and the small, not small, but the round conveyor pipe. So from here out we can continue building up our containers and everything else involved. Again with the same trick as before. Just use a bunch of welders. And align them in a way that they can reach things that need to be finished and constructed. Whenever something is finished producing, it will be instantly welded. And the script, the goat sorter script, is also taking care of prioritizing the items from time to time so that nothing gets delayed for way too long, or things that are more important gets produced earlier. Although I sometimes do intervene here and there. And I think we can configure our auto-crafting system a little bit better. We want to have more small tubes, let's say 100. 50 motors, 20 metal grids, and the rest I think can stay as it is. Maybe displace 10 is also okay. Yeah, let's keep it at that. Yeah, it's instantly starting to get us those numbers that we requested. Alright. So while this is running, I think we can also weld up. Let's see, not weld up, but we can start configuring those containers. Yeah, that's a good thing, I think. Okay, so this side will be ingots and ores. Let's use the lower one for ingots and ores, and then the other ones are just for ingots. Large cargo container, ingots, ores. This one here will be ingot. No. Ingots. Don't want to have industrial in the name anymore. This. Same over here. Oops. And then we have one for components. Actually, not just one, it will be more. That's the first one. Components. Now, why is this not being welded up? Because we're missing this pipe here. Okay, we can do what we had tried before. Put a welder here, turn it on. Get rid of this one. Now that is welding up that part, okay. And can we maybe... I think we will need some conveyor lines for this. So let's go with angled one and a straight one. And start from here. small tubes still missing? Because we ran out of iron once again. Always the same. But we will get there. Okay, so while this is running, I think we have now enough containers to get rid of those. So if we now remove those labels from these two containers, the system should sort those items back into the bigger ones. Oh, already done. So this one is empty, and this one is not yet empty because we don't have a container defined for those tools and other miscellaneous items. So, but we can get rid of the container now. And container, large container. Let's put it into the components for now. Just to get rid of it here. So the rest is called, let's see, foods, misc, ammo, ingredients, and tools. And we will just use that for, let's see, for this one here for now. Okay. Go to the proper menu. Control panel. This. So now we have everything sorted. So we have components in this one. Refinery is working on the platinum that we had in our storage. The assembler. Why does the assembler still have items in it? Ah yeah, because it's missing resources to finish the production queue. Everything else is sorted into this one. Ingots are in that container, and then we still have some parts in our rover that I think move them out of there. Are getting resorted. Don't know why I didn't pull them out of the rover though. It should. Something to debug later. But yeah, I think I will go and collect some more resources, weld up more of the parts, and then see a bit for the end of this episode. Okay, I think that is quite a lot already. So I did change a little bit this inset part of the wall to use, what's it called? Well, window walls, of course. Window walls on those parts. There's still a couple of blocks missing here and there, but this is how the walls will go over from the garage to the storage facility. There's still a little bit of the storage container behind it visible, but I think it should be airtight on those places. Otherwise, if not, we will exchange those frames for something else, all those half beams. I did weld up also everything on the storage interior here. So the flooring or the pipeworks or the conveyors, I mean. We have all 8 containers ready, 2 of the large hydrogen tanks, and our refinery. The fan is installed again. A bit of railing here to not fall over. And I did replace some of those corridor blocks. So this one allows us to look into the garage, and then this walkway here had double windows, but that didn't make sense facing a wall, so I exchanged it for the single window version. And then we can lead this over into our gallery here. And yeah, then build out the gallery. But I think that's it for now. It's quite a lot that has been welded and designed. I can also tear down this welder in a moment. But yeah, I think for next time I will try to finish that up a little bit more before the next episode. Build everything up and collect more resources. Our mining drones should also soon reach the first iron deposits, and yeah, next time I think we have to work on our power consumption or power production, because this is now so close to the building that it first of all might ram into it in an odd angle, and secondly gets shadowed by the building. And we also tore down our wind farm in well, in favor of being able to continue building here. So I will put a temporary wind mill on top of this building, and then in the next episode we will basically move all of that outwards and build a better power production. And yeah, we will also have to move the rover to a slightly different place inside of the garage, but yeah, we will get to that next episode. So yeah, thanks for watching, and see you next time on Earth.